What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to class. This is episode 4, A New Hope. No, I'm just kidding. This is episode 4 of our How to Play the Pokemon TCG tutorial series. We've covered basic Pokemon and kind of what the cards look like, what's all the information on there. The second video, we looked at evolution Pokemon. The third video, we looked at GX Pokemon. The fourth video, we're going to be looking at trainers. Trainers are the cards that really make the deck. You can have some great Pokemon and all the energy you need, but if you don't have certain trainers to help you access all those cards in your deck is really not going to run that well. There are generally 3 types of trainers. You're going to have supporters, and you'll know it's a supporter because on the upper right hand corner of the card is the word supporter. Okay, now the thing about supporters is you can only use one of those supporters within your turn for the most part. Okay, so supporters. The other type of trainer is your item trainer. Now your items, you'll know it's an item because in the upper right hand corner in blue letters will be the word item. The cool thing about item, guys, is you can use as many item cards as you want in a turn. Okay, so far we've got supporters, items. Now the third type of trainer is your stadiums. Stadiums are awesome because they generally allow your Pokemon to do extra things, or they limit your opponent. In other words, they kind of just enhance the game. So you'll know it's a supporter card because in the upper right hand corner is the word stadium in green letters. All right, now you can generally play 1 stadium per turn on your turn. Generally, you can discard the stadium and put others out, but people generally don't do that. So what I'm going to do in this video, guys, I'm going to go over now that you know of the 3 different types of trainers, I'm going to go over some that are more commonly played. Will I leave some out? Absolutely. There's no way I'd make a good video and go through every single trainer that people use. So what I've done is I've gone through and I have grabbed the more common trainers that you'll see in gameplay. Okay, so I'm going to start with the supporters. The first card is Professor Sycamore. It allows you to discard your hand, which means you take all the cards in your hand and you put them in the discard pile, the pile with the cards that have already been used, and you get to draw 7 new cards. Remember, guys, with a supporter, you only get to use it once per turn. The other supporter that people commonly use is N. Each player shuffles his or her hand into his or her deck, then each player draws a card for each of his or her remaining prize cards. This is a great card because it allows you to restart your hand in case you're dead drawing. What dead drawing means is when you're drawing one card off the top of your deck and it is not a card that's useful. This is great because it allows you to restart your hand, get fresh cards, and while it does allow your opponent to do that, your opponent could have had a good hand and you messed them up, or they might have taken way more prize cards than you and you just messed them up because now they have less cards in their hand than before. The next card I have here is Lily. Lily is also a draw support card, very similar to Professor Sycamore and N. Lily allows you to draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hand. Although if it's your first turn, you actually get to draw until you have 8. So that's pretty cool. Another supporter that people are commonly playing is Bridget, because it's pretty broken. So Bridget says here, search your deck for 1 basic Pokemon EX, which nobody really plays anymore, or 3 basic Pokemon except for Pokemon EX. Notice it says 3 basic. You could grab 3 basic GXs if you wanted to and put them onto your bench, shuffle your deck afterwards. Remember, supporters, you only get to play 1 per turn though. Another card that's very common to see in play is Acerola. It says on Acerola you get to put one of your Pokemon that has any damage counters on it and all cards attached to it in your hand. So it allows you to kind of instant heal and put the Pokemon back onto your bench. The only catch is you can't evolve it if it was an evolved Pokemon. Now the last supporter I'm going to show you is a very, very crucial card to any deck. Generally, people will play anywhere from 3 to 4 copies of this. By the way, 4 is the limit of how many cards of the same name you can have in your deck. The only cards that you can have more than 4 of are basic energy. Okay. Anyway, this supporter is Guzma. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon. If you do this, switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench. So you're catching your opponent off guard. All right. So that is generally your supporter layout. These are the more common supporters you'll see in decks. Now, obviously, decks can look differently, right? Different Pokemon are used, so they might require different trainers. It's all up to you. These are just common ones that you'll probably see people playing. Remember, supporters, you can only play 1 per what? That's right, you got it right, 1 per turn. Now, items are different. You can play as many items as you want. The first one I'm going to show you is Ultra Ball. This is how people seek out their Pokemon. Discard 2 cards from your hand, and if you do, search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your deck afterwards. This is a Pokemon tool. This actually gets attached to the Pokemon in play. The attacks of this the Pokemon this card is attached to do 30 more damage to your opponent's active GX or active EX Pokemon. So this increases the damage output of your Pokemon's attacks. The next one is a Fighting Fury Belt. This one gets attached to basic Pokemon. So a big difference. Choice Band can go on any Pokemon and be effective. The Fury Belt can only be attached to basic types. The basic Pokemon this card is attached to gets 40 extra hit points, and its attack do 10 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. All right. So you might commonly see this attached to a Turtonator GX, or you might see this attached to Drampa GX, but mainly basic type GXs. The next item we have here is a Field Blower. You get to choose up to 2 in any combination of Pokemon tool cards, such as Choice Band or Fury Belts, or Stadiums, and you actually get to discard them. Very good for disrupting your opponent. The next one is Rare Candy. This one's used to speed up your evolution. Remember, going back to our evolution videos, you have basic Pokemon, Stage 1s, Stage 2s, and you have your GXs. This allows you to skip the Stage 1 evolving if you have the Stage 2 in your hand. So let's say you have Rowlet down on your board. Well, if you have Decidueye or Decidueye GX and you have a Rare Candy in your hand, you can skip Dartrix and go straight into Decidueye. The next one is very, very commonly used for basic Pokemon. And so with that, you get to look at the top 6 cards of your deck, and any energy in there, you get to attach it to a basic Pokemon that is on your bench. Okay. So there's that one. I don't know what happened to the music, but we're going to keep going with our class. Okay. The next item I have here is your Super Rod. This allows you to shuffle 3 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. Now, the last item I have for you guys also helps you get Pokemon back if they get knocked out, or if you have to discard them using an Ultra Ball or Sycamore or whatever. It's Rescue Stretcher. You get to have an option here. You get to either put a Pokemon from your discard pile into your hand, or you shuffle 3 from your discard into your deck. So these are the most common items. There is one very common item I did not include in here, and my bad, guys. When I put these together, I forgot to grab it, and that's Float Stone. You attach a Float Stone. It's very similar to a tool like Fury Belt and Choice Band. But what's cool about the Float Stone is you get to actually have a free retreat. Hang on a second. I think I actually have one for you guys. Give me a minute. I just finished shooting the deck profile for Trevenant Break, and I'm pretty sure there it is. So here's a Float Stone. Here's what it looks like. The Pokemon this card is attached to has 0 retreat costs, so it can retreat back to your bench for free. Pretty awesome. So there are our items. Pretty common items that are used in play. Now, remember, supporters, you can only use 1. Items, you can use as many as you want. The third and final type of trainer card I have for you is the stadium cards. And I grabbed some stadiums to show examples. There are many more, like Devoured Field, Reverse Valley, Altar of the Sun, Altar of the Moon. There's tons and tons out there. Sea of Nothingness. But I just grabbed some common ones that are used. Check this out. Brooklet Hill. Once during each player's turn, that player may search their deck for a basic water energy or a basic fighting. Did I say energy? My fault, guys. Brooklet Hill, you get to search your deck for one basic water Pokemon or a basic fighting Pokemon and put it on your bench, then shuffle your deck. All right, so this helps you actually get your Pokemon out. So you may not need to discard stuff using Ultra Ball if you can just use that. But the catch is only basic Pokemon. The next trainer stadium I have here is Town. Whenever any player plays a Pokemon from their hand to evolve one of their Pokemon, you get to put 3 damage counters on that Pokemon. Yeah, it would hurt you, but it also hurts your opponent. And if you're using basic Pokemon for your deck, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't hurt you. Fairy Garden. Each Pokemon that has any fairy energy attached to it, both yours and your opponent's, has no retreat costs. Very popular in Xerneas Break decks, Sylveon GX decks, and Gardevoir GX decks. The last stadium I have here, and I picked this one particularly as I was going through the cards, and Nelly was like, hey, you should show this one because this stadium gives you an option on what you want to do, right? So the trainer is called Parallel City, and you get to decide which way it sits on the map. For this bottom side, it says choose which way this card faces before you play it. Any damage done by attacks from this player's grass, fire, or water Pokemon is actually reduced by 20. Or you can play it this way. Choose which way this card faces before you play it. This player can't have more than 3 benched Pokemon. That's pretty annoying when you place that down on your opponent. So if you're running a deck that's psychic or fairy or dark, pretty much anything that's not grass, water, or fire, yeah, this is a really good trainer. Really good trainer. Now, here's the thing, guys. When you use your supporters and items, once you've used them, you put them into the discard, but not with your stadiums. Your stadiums actually stay on the mat until either you discard it by using a field blower or some type of card to get rid of the stadium, or you put a different one out. And same thing, your opponent can do the same thing. Anyway, guys, I was going to split this into smaller videos with just items, just supporters, just stadiums, but I feel like putting them all together gives you a lot to digest and leaves you a chance to kind of really thumb through and try different combinations of trainers. So, thank you so much for joining me. Bow class time. Today we did trainers. Next episode. Let's see. I'll just show you guys my list. Next episode, it looks like we're going to be doing special energy. Yeah, because there's basic energy, but there's also special energy like double colorless energy and strong energy and splash energy and burning energy. All kinds of stuff. Counter energy, warped energy, just special energy in general. So we're going to be going over that. All right. There's also a special item called Special Charge. I ain't going to tell you what it does, but look it up because it really does some good stuff for your energy. Thank you for joining me. Class is dismissed.